I, Ernest Charles Bordelon, declare that this is my last will and testament. To my children, I bequeath 800 acres, equally. Out of every place in this whole world, this land bears our name. Farm it, nurture it, love it. Pass it on to your children and every Bordelon that will come next. Your father, Ernest.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Dad wants us to farm the land.
None of us knows a thing about running a farm.
Well, I want it. For me and Blue to make a fresh start of things.
What your sister had to say about that gladiator shakedown?
We ain't close like that.
What happens now?
We'll stay here. We've got family business to settle.
Be careful, ma'am. We do business a little differently down here than where you come from.
You'd be surprised at how much I know about business.
Your daddy
Wouldn't want y'all fighting over this.
You gotta get a job is a requirement of your parole.
What am I supposed to do? If his own family don't help, who will?
I'm gonna stay and you're gonna hear me out.
You just lost your father.
Don't tell me what I lost.
Do you have any idea what you've done?
I'm not backing away from this.
Talk to the bank about that.
Whoa, hold on now.
Boy, you point a gun at my family, you best know how to use it. I know how to use this right here. And I'll let it loose on your ass before I let you take a damn thing my daddy worked for.
I'm sorry, Daddy. I'll fix it.
Omar Dorsey. Omar, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, man. Glad to be here in New York City.
It is a pleasure to have you, my friend.
Yes.
Congratulations, Queen Sugar. How excited are you about this? The premiere went down incredibly well, high ratings, everyone loved it.
Yeah.
Great critical response. I saw it, I loved it. Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much. This is such a beautiful thing. Broke all kind of records for the OWN network. We're just very happy. We put our soul, our blood, sweat, and tears for our 6 months on this show. And to get the response that's been getting, it's just been a blessing.
Now, you started with Ava on Selma, right?
I certainly did, yes.
So how did that happen? How'd you get on Selma?
Man, I auditioned for it just the same way anybody does. But what's awesome is I'm from Atlanta, and so I played James Orange, Reverend James Orange, great man, great civil rights leader, and who I actually had the pleasure of working with as a teenager, him and Hosea Williams. So when I had to audition, I ended up Skyping with Ava, and I was telling her all about it, like, yeah, I'm from the city, these are the men who are the bloodline of Atlanta, all of those civil rights leaders. They are our forefathers. So, we had a long conversation, and then by the end of the conversation, she just offered me the role.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your audition wasn't even necessarily, or did you send an audition tape and then you had a discussion?
Yeah, I had an audition with the casting director, and then Ava wanted to Skype with me.
And what was it like for you working with Ava on that film? What did you notice about Ava right away?
I noticed that she was a leader. I'm an ex-athlete, and I was like, she's one of the greatest coaches I've ever had. And I call her my personal Phil Jackson. Because she can put together a team and have everybody going, in the direction that she wants them to go in. Like, we had long days in the South, in Alabama, and, it was 10, 12 hours, and by the end of the day, everybody, extras, and everybody is screaming, Ava, Ava. I've never seen anything like that in my life, and I worked with some of the biggest directors.
Wow, that's unbelievable. What was it about her in that moment that had all these extras like chanting her name, just sort of her style?
You remember the episode of Chappelle's Show when Rick James came in and he said he just had an aura about himself.
Right.
Ava just has that aura, man. It's just like she's an angel. And, but she works so hard, and you see the work she's putting in. She's out there sweating, she's putting her foot in it. and you see it and you're like, I want to run through a brick wall for her.
Now talk to me about your character on the show, Queen Sugar, Hollywood.
Hollywood. I play almost like the uncle to the siblings. I am their aunt's boyfriend, and she's a little bit older than me, so it's a lightweight May-December romance, but you won't even notice it because it's not like a boy toy. He's a man who's taking care of his woman, making sure everything is good with her, and, making sure everything is good with the family. He's the sounding board for the family. He's the one who everybody goes to. He's like the guru of the family.
That's one of the things that I like about the show is that none of the relationships fall into those sort of cliche television traps. Like he's a little older, she's a little older, you're a little younger, but it's not, like you said, a May-December sort of like any kind of like boy toy situation. It's actually like a real character, how it would most likely be in reality.
You know what? And that's one thing that Ava did with this show. These characters are real. This looks like people in my family. I've had an aunt who had a younger boyfriend, but we never see that on television. It's a lot of things that she's showing that we just don't see on television. So it's the beauty of life. It's the messiness of life. It's the highs and the lows. And she's actually holding a mirror up to society and say, this is what we look like.
I feel like one thing that we've also never seen on television is the story of a Southern black family taking care of a farm.
Exactly.
Which is, in reality, very much exists.
It is, yeah. Like I said, I'm from the South. I know we have cotton fields that our family owns. And so, you do see that. And it's not a person who's working on a field. It's a person who owns that acre, those 800 acres. And so we can finally get to see that.
It's one of those things that I feel like because the television and film industry has long so much been dominated by sort of white showrunners and white storytellers that part of the black experience has sort of been off limits to them because it's not a headline. It's not something that's sort of obviously registered throughout the media and society.
Exactly. But the thing about it also is that acre is just the backdrop. Right. It's everything else that goes on in the family. You have a young brother who is fresh out of prison, but he's a single father. You have this Black Lives Matter journalist who's dating a white police officer. You have this woman who seemingly has everything, but her husband is cheating on her. So it's all of these things that are encompassing in this story.
Well, no person is one thing. We all have contradictions moving through life.
Exactly. We all have different colors. That's the human experience. Right. That's the human condition. That's what we are.
So how did Ava bring this project to you? Did you audition for this one again, or was she like, Omar, I loved you, and Selma, I got something for you?
Man, I got lucky. What happened was I was in the Bahamas doing a film, and she kept trying to call me. My phone wasn't working, so she said, boy, you need to answer your phone. She emailed me, said, boy, answer your phone. And I was like, what are you talking about? She said, I've been trying to call you all day. So I called her back, and she was like, listen, I want to send you something. I want you to read it, and you tell me what you think about it. Read for the Hollywood role. I said, this is a dope character. I said, it's beautiful. I love it. I said, when do you want me to come in? She was like, no, me and Oprah want you to play this role. I wrote this role for you. And I was like, huh? Yes, like that never really happens in life.
Ava DuVernay and Oprah have a role for you.
Yes, and I was like, like I said, man, I would be a waiter in an Ava DuVernay movie. You know what I'm saying? Who had this tea? I play hot, so I was like, yo, whatever you need me to do, I said, I would definitely play this. I would definitely do this. I didn't even know it was already picked up for 13 episodes, and I was like, wow.
And picked up for a second season.
It's picked up for another 16 episodes now.
Wow, unbelievable.
Yeah. Yes.
On the subject of Oprah.
Yes.
What's she like?
I call her my fairy godmother. Whenever she comes down, she sprinkles things and great things happen, man. Like the whole time we were doing Selma, she was just like the life of the party. You've never been around anybody that famous, but who's also that gregarious and that just this big live personality. Like when she pulls up, everything else goes down. It's just like, oh, Oprah's in the house now.
It's one of those weird things where you talk about that aura, right? Where like Ava DuVernay has an aura that is kind of just hers.
Exactly.
Whereas someone like Oprah or like for lack of a better comparison, someone who I've met like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something, that aura is this weird kind of like, is that just yours, or is that because of everything that I know about you, or is it now just both put together and it's incredible?
What it is this is a reason why she is who she is. You know, like the reason that people love her, you know, that she affects people so much is because she is who she is. So, you know, you're looking, you're like, man, I wonder if she's really, yeah, she is really like that. All of that beauty that's in one package. And that's the reason that she goes by one name, you know?
Very few who can go by one name.
Exactly.
Right?
And, you know, so when Oprah comes in, you're like, oh, and now the party has officially begun because Oprah is here.
When Oprah sort of lends her name to a project, I mean, well, you have Ava as well on the project, and I think with Selma, you also had like Brad Pitt on his name on the project as well. So at that point, you basically have everybody working at the top of their game.
Exactly, and it's up to you not to drop the ball at that point, you know. So,
but if you drop the ball on an Oprah or Brad Pitt project, a lot of people who've signed on with you are going to be like, I don't know if we can really take care of you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, no, that's why it was such a blessing. It's like when Ava did call me, like she trusts me enough to like, you know, I'm going to give you. I wrote this for you, and I'm putting this in your hands. Now let's see what you can do with it.
Would you consider yourself mainly dramatic or mainly comedic actor? Because you did one of my favorite roles in television a long time. I've told you about this. Your role in Eastbound and Down.
Right.
Season 4 or season 3?
Season 4. Yeah.
Season 4. So good, good, and so funny. Did you start as a comedian? And
I started out doing sketch comedy. My first movies were Road Trip, all these Todd Phillips movies, Road Trip, School for Scoundrels, and Starsky and Hutch. And then I switched over and started getting more into the dramatic stuff. And I sort of got stuck in it, but I like it. And then I came back around and did Eastbound and Down. Now I'm on stage doing a satire. So that's fun to get back to that now.
Now, is stage something that you ever saw in your future? Did you do theater before you did film?
Yeah, I did theater forever. I mean, forever. I did theater since I was about like 5 or 6 years old. My mother was a theater director, so I had been doing theater since before I could remember. I honestly, like, I don't even remember a time when I wasn't on stage.
What's the play that you're doing right now?
It's called Barbecue. It's a film. I mean, it's a play that was done at the Public out here. Now it's at the Geffen in Los Angeles, and it's written by Robert O'Hare. Man, it is a piece of work. It is hilarious.
A piece of work, like a lot of work to do?
No, it's a piece of work. It's just like it's about addiction, family, Hollywood, and race.
Wow.
Yes.
Can we talk a little bit about Eastbound and Down?
Of course we can.
What was it like working with Danny McBride, working on that show?
Man, Danny is like one of those dudes. You know, Danny writes all of them. He writes all. And Jody Hill, his partner, they write all these episodes. So he's writing them, acting in them, and all of this, man. So when I was watching him work, I was like, man, I'm not doing enough work because this cat is doing everything. And just, working with those dudes, Ken Marino, I'm about to say Dan Marino, Ken Marino and John Reap and Michael Beasley, if you drop the ball one time, those dudes will run over you. So it's a lot of improv comedy that we were doing on that show.
Did you have that background at all? Or were you
I certainly did. I did a lot of improv comedy in Atlanta, but I hadn't done it in a while. But after like 1 or 2 takes, you're like, okay, that's what we're doing? Well, let's go ahead and take it because I wasn't about to get left behind.
What did you start bringing to the table? Because sometimes when you haven't done improv in a while and you sort of jump into the mix, you're like, oh, I got to be funny. I got to be really funny. And you shoot for something desperate and everybody else around the table is like, no, try to stick to the tone,
Yeah, you stick to the tone. But I was lucky because it's like I was playing a sports, a ESPN type sportscaster type dude.
You can go big.
So you can do all of that stuff. You can play how Michael Irvin or Warren Sapp or Deion Sanders, how big they are and bombastic those dudes are. And so it was very easy because there's a lot to draw on.
Did watching Danny work as an actor and writer make you want to start writing stuff for yourself?
Well, it just made me know that, there is so much more. Because this is a dude who made himself. You're talking about his first movie was Foot Fist Fury. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, but it's a hilarious movie.
Very good.
Yeah, and this, but he made his own way in the industry. He's like, this is what I want to do. This is how characters who I want to play. So from day one, that's what he was doing.
What kind of characters would you like to play if you were writing for yourself? What's something that you haven't played yet that you'd like to play?
You know, I mean, I've been lucky over the last couple of years to play all of these really great characters. What I do want to play is a jazz musician. Oh, wow. Now, I do want to do that because I do play the piano. I play jazz piano, so I would love to play some kind of in some movie or TV show or something, so I can show that skill off.
So he's a jazz pianist, right?
Yeah.
What era?
Bebop.
Bebop era, right?
Thelonious.
Does he have an addiction problem? Does he have a woman problem? What are we talking about here?
Bebop? Of course he had an addiction problem. If it's Bebop, you know that. Yeah, I would love to play something like, and that would really show some levels too. You know, you playing, especially because I can play, and then you have to do it as a person who's out of their minds a little, some of the time, and it can be funny.
And what's this guy's name? No.
No, I mean, I would like to play Thelonious Monk.
Oh, you just want to play you want to play Thelonious?
I would love to play Thelonious one day. Yeah, that would be awesome.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Have you talked about this or tried to work on it, or are we?
I mean, I did a play about Thelonious about 20 years ago, and I was like, I fell in love with him, so I was like, I would love to do that. Yeah. Wow. I've been talking to people about it though.
And you have some movies coming up this year, right?
I do have some movies coming out. I have a film called Thank You for Your Service. It's a Steven Spielberg produced film, directed by Jason Hall, who wrote American Sniper. It's a beautiful film it's an ugly film about our brothers and sisters coming back from the war and how many times we discard them. And they're left with no place. They're left with nothing. And then their families are also left, holding the bag a lot of times. It's a beautiful, ugly piece. I have another film called
Amy Schumer's in that, right?
Amy Schumer's in that. Miles
Teller. It's like one of her big dramatic performances.
It's a big dramatic turn. Miles Teller's in. He did a phenomenal, amazing job. This is something that's special. I saw a little bit of it a couple of weeks ago, and it's something that we really need right now because those guys are out there. They're doing, they're doing God's work. And like a lot of times, man, a lot of people who you see on the streets, man, those are veterans. And like we just discard them a lot of times.
And like you said, we leave families to pick up the bag, but like so often veterans that go off to service are coming from homes that don't really have the sort of financial stability to really pick up what a veteran needs when they come home.
Exactly. And like those guys, at that point, they might get addicted to the drugs or whatever to help them mask all of that pain that they have and all the pain and suffering that they may have caused or it was caused to them. So this is a movie that will explore all of that. Yeah, and I got a few more coming out, a couple more films coming out too. Another one called Cargo. It's a film about human trafficking, about the Haitians coming over from the Bahamas to try to find a better life in America. I have another film called 9 Rides, about 9 Uber rides in one night.
What do you play in 9 Rides?
I play a college professor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's open it up to the audience for some questions. Does anyone have any questions out here? Right here.
Hey, Mr. Dorsey. So I love Ava's work as well. Very realistic, where you can relate to it, so it makes it more personable when you're watching it. But so Atlanta's growing a lot. I see a lot more work being produced down there. Have you considered working with Tyler Perry, T.D. Jakes? I see they're producing a lot more as well. And where do you see film increasing in Atlanta?
Yeah, like I said, I'm from Atlanta. It's funny, after I moved is when I started working in Atlanta. I did Selma, I did Blindside, I did all these movies in Atlanta, and I was like, I did Thank You for Your Service in Atlanta. And
there's a show called Atlanta.
There's a show called Atlanta, yeah, with Donald, went to the same high school I went to. Yeah, Atlanta is becoming the Hollywood of the South. You want to say that, but they do so much down there. They do a lot of important work. I haven't had the chance to work with Tyler or T.D. Jakes. I respect Tyler so much because he found an audience and he created an empire off of that. He has he has Tyler Perry Studios in my hometown, and they're employing so many people in behind the scenes and in front of the camera, man. And I respect him so much, and I thank him for that because he almost single-handedly brought the film industry to Atlanta.
Absolutely. Next question.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for coming today. I just want to know, you mentioned that Oprah and Ava both created the role for you.
Yes.
What were some of the initial choices that you made when approaching the role?
You know, I read through it. I mean, the guy is not like me at all. I mean, he's not like me. He's cool. I'm neurotic, you know, and that's like, so I had to just look at some of those old school cats who are in my community, you know, the cool dudes like Mike. Hey, what's happening, young blood? Some of those dudes, and I tried to like embody some of them. But the thing about it is I'm in New Orleans, so I was hanging around a whole lot of the New Orleans cats just to get their lingo, the way they walk, the way they dress, and all of that. The way this dude dresses is really boogie to me, you know. But I was like, yo, but I know these cats, the Kangos, you know, the short sets and all of that. So you have to just try to embody that whole aesthetic. Yeah.
So you said that Ava wrote this part for you. When a director writes a part for you, how much do they then expect for you to bring to it in terms of ideas and stuff like that? Because, like, you know, they wrote it for you, right. So clearly they're expecting, or maybe they're not expecting, they want you to say the words because they just envision you saying these words.
What Ava said was this. She said, look, I want to show you in a light that you have not been shown before. I want, you know, when I did Ray Donovan, I was playing this crazy, insane guy. You know, when I was doing Eastbound and Down, I was this over-the-top, you know, football player, just, you know, guy. She was like, I want to show you the way that I see you. You are a father. You are a husband. You know, you look like every leading man that is in my life. You look like my fathers. You look like my brothers. I want to create the new standard for a leading man and have you be it. And I was like, what?
That is a pitch.
Yeah, it is, man. And I was like, really? So, like, so for her to believe in me that much, then I'll have to I'm like, okay, I'm taking this ball and I'm running with it.
Then she got on the phone with another actor, and she's like, I want to create the new leading man with you, too.
Exactly, yeah.
You're my favorite kid, too.
Exactly, yeah.
Omar, congratulations on Queen Sugar and all your success. Queen Sugar is on, what nights is Queen Sugar?
Wednesdays, 10 o'clock on the OWN network.
Omar, thank you so much for being here, man.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.